How are you? Let's get to the news from around the world. Well, today the surprise is let's go to the map. Let's see if we have the map. Let's go to the map. Because, well, in the Netherlands, they have reportedly been talking about what's been happening practically since what? Since September, more or less, which is when the sightings started happening again. Let's say curious ones of these, let's say drones or apps, objects, whatever we want to call them, that have been appearing in that region. The Netherlands would have had a confrontation, well, let's say a clash, right? A confrontation with these, what do they call them? Those objects, but already in a direct way, in which, according to them, the army would have, well, they would have fired. And not only would they have fired, but supposedly they hit them, right? That's what they've said now. There's no talk of a shoot down, at least for now. There's no talk that they managed to bring it down, but yes. They claim that they would have hit some of these drones. We'll see if it's possible for them to show us some images later, but for now, I'm telling you, there are no images, no remains, nothing. Let's review the details of how the situation or event occurred. The report is ultimately very typical of the military, right? They give it like that, covering all the points possible, right? I also find that interesting. It doesn't want to work. That's why I'm here struggling a bit with the VAPA. For those who are here live on the channel, we're broadcasting a little differently today because this is the regular broadcast. We are connected, right? Yes. And we're doing a separate broadcast, which is the behind the scenes. And in the behind the scenes, well, you're going to see that other part. You don't see what happens when we cut. When we do that, they're watching us over there, but not here, right? Because, well, that's when we do things like this part where we make the note change. And that's when, well, we correct mistakes or try to correct mistakes, right? And so that too, well, it's interesting, and let's see how. There's the map, finally. Well, and you over there behind the cameras, you won't see the map. You won't see the things that are happening here. So, well, that's a different option. And, well, later on, we'll try to do it from time to time or more often if you like it. It would be awesome to be able to do it like that. All right, let's go. Nicole and Frank, how have you been? Today, an incident was reported that happened between 7 and 9 post-meridium. This triggered the defense protocols. Now, it also led to the use of ground weapons. According to the Ministry of Defense, the authorities are investigating these drones, right? Now, they're not just investigating, but they had already warned that they would shoot if necessary. The report was made in this part of the Netherlands, or rather this NATO area where the Netherlands is located. According to the flyover, it was between the Netherlands and these military bases, military installations they have in that region, between the Netherlands and Belgium. What would it be? I guess on this border, right? This is where it happened. The operations are kept strictly confidential. They won't give details for security reasons, and the use of drones in military zones and airports, they say, is completely prohibited. Vocal Air Base is the one where, let's say, all this happened, right? Vocal Air Base is part of the Royal Netherlands Air Force. Well, that's where the situation happened. The event took place during a time of intense electronic espionage tension. Even during the so-called hybrid war, in which they claim, they say we fired at them, apparently we might have hit some of them. They say the identified drones were flying over Vocal Air Base. No, he says, without managing to shoot them down. I didn't start saying that they had been shot down. No, without managing to shoot them down, nor to recover any remains. I mean, it's not clear whether they hit them or not. How is it possible that at this point there isn't a single drone, not even one, that they've shot down, right? That's honestly amazing. Not even one of those toy ones like the DJI types, right? They're like that. More for amateurs, amateur or professional, but let's say civilian, right? Or maybe a military drone, but no, neither one nor the other, nothing at all. Are the defense protocols active? They say that if weapons were used, without specifying which, they just mention ground weapons. What kind of ground weapons? Artillery, how many millimeters? I mean, come on, nothing, nobody knows, right? So the tension continues. They don't mention Russia or China or absolutely anyone in the statement. Right? I mean, yeah. That's also been handled more carefully because before it was always implied that it was Russia. Now, well, not anymore. They don't imply anything. They just leave it at that. Well, there are objects that have been appearing there and they shoot at them. It's called a phantom attack because they're there and they're not, right? They're there, they shoot at them, but they don't hit them. So either they miss or don't want to shoot, but that's the situation. Let's move on to several topics, several important matters, also about what's happening internationally.